Hey everyone, welcome to the Acrylic Asylum. I'm Mike Ferris, and in this video I'll be showing you this simple spring bee painting step by step. All the colors and materials are listed down in the description box below. So now let's get started. So I'm going to be starting off on an 11 by 14 inch pre-stretched canvas here, and I've already gessoed it. And I have my number 12 flat brush here, and it's a little frayed out, which is good for blending because I'm going to start blending a bunch of values of colors all over. So I'm just going to dip 1/3 of the brush into the water, and then I'm going to just press against the jar and get all the excess water off of this. I just want to make this canvas just a little bit damp, and I'll go over the borders all the way around as well, and I'll make this painting wrap all the way around. So starting off, I have some violet, some phthalo blue, permanent black, cad yellow, and titanium white as always. So I'm just going to be doing different values of shades of these light sort of earthy tones, and it's going to be sort of bokeh out. So I'm just going to take some violet and a little bit of blue to that, and now a bunch of titanium white. I want to make this very light lavender dulled down, so with a permanent black, just a touch there, and a lot more white. I'm going to start blocking in, and like I said, I'm going to go all the way around the canvas on the borders and just pretty much go and make this a very light blended color scheme. Okay, so without cleaning now, I'm going to take some titanium white and a little bit of this cad yellow and a touch of black to dull it down. And I actually want more color than this. There's not enough, so I'm going to add more of this yellow and black. And just a teeny bit of black. I'm talking like a pin drop. That's just to dull the yellow down just a bit. And a little bit more titanium white. And so now I want this very light, dull yellow color. And again, on the borders here. So what I'm going to do with my brush as I get up into that lavender value is I'm going to use very light pressure like this and just pretty much bend the bristles against the canvas. And this will take this up and blend it very nicely, making this really good gradient going on. So this is just basically a blurred out background, and I'm going to add some values of green here and there and pretty much just make this some blurred out plant life that's sort of going on. So I'll just kind of cover over with some of this light yellow color here. And now without cleaning, I'll just take some some Phthalo Blue and Cad Yellow. More Cad Yellow than blue because blue will really eat up everything if you're not careful. And I just want to make this dulled down green with a little bit of black into that. And a little bit of yellow again. So I'm going to take this green now and again just sort of scratch that in, not worried about straight lines. I want everything to be fuzzy, and that way that these colors can blend in nice with each other. So now I'm just going to take some more of this yellow and black, and I'll go on this side as well. Okay, so I'm going to get some more titanium white into this color now and just make sort of this out of focus shape here. And now more titanium white. So what's cool about this is another way to blend in colors, is you can take more white, and as you can see as I go around the edges of that other value, it will make this really nice gradient where you can't really tell where one color starts and the other one stops, and basically makes this really nice transition and blend happening together. So just gonna go around some stuff with this and give that effect, and like I said, make this picture wrap around and get this bottom border as well. So again, as paint runs off the brush, you can see just very light pressure, and I'm just taking the rest of that green into that other lime faded green there. So again, that makes that very nice, blurry, out of focus sort of plant life background look to it. And this bee and this flower that we're going to put on here will look really nice against all of that. So as you can see again on the bottom there, making a distinct mark with that green, so it shows the picture again wrapping all the way around. And then I'm just going to go out like this. Maybe this is like a little leaf that's out of focus here, and just sort of fuzz that out, and again use little pressure and blend that sort of into that other yellow color. Okay, without cleaning now, I'm going to take some of that lighter yellow value and mix it a little bit with that light lavender. And this sort of helps bring the whole background picture together. I'm just going to scratch some of this over. And again, very little paint on the brush. If you get too much paint at one time, it's going to be very hard to control. And then you find yourself really not able to blend where you want it to. And so instead of blending into the other colors, it really just then covers the color. And you pretty much lose the effect. And then you get hard lines in between colors. It just doesn't look as right. So, or as good, right? So, let's see. Just gonna take again some of the lavender and let's just sort of play this up in here. I don't want to cover all that yellow up. Okay, so now a little bit of black. I want to make this gray now. And I'm not cleaning my brush yet. And right up here, there'll be a little bit of a dark spot. And I'll go ahead and take some white and some light lavender around this, and that'll help to blend this in, making it more natural. Okay, so I'm going to get that light lavender and let's go around this dark gray, and again that'll settle that down and give it that nice natural blend look to it. Okay, so with that gray left on my brush and just a teeny bit of it, I'm going to go here and there and sort of give the impression of maybe some clouds in the background where maybe some spring showers. Brought these white mayflowers, which is what I want to have show up against this light background anyway, so putting this gray in here is ideal for both those reasons. And so just here and there, I'm not covering everything up as you can see, and it gives this nice cloudy effect in the background. So now that my background's dry, I'm going to take two papers taped seam to seam on the back and cut to my 11 by 14 inch canvas size. And horizontally and vertically, I've got numbers to help lay everything out. And so you can go ahead and pause, and this is where you can draw everything out. And if you have a smaller canvas, say like an 8 by 10, just use 1/2 inch squares instead of 1 inch squares like I'm using, and you should roughly get about the same amount of squares that I have, and you'll be able to proportionately transfer this image just the same. So flipping my picture over now, I used wax transfer paper and a stylus, and I put a short video link about transferring images using some wax transfer paper, so check that out if need be on that. So I put a book underneath about the same thickness as my pre-stretched canvas, because without that, then I'm just going to make this canvas very flimsy when I push down, and you want to keep them tight, so I recommend putting a book or something hard underneath that so that that doesn't happen. So I've got raw umber, permanent black, some Cad Orange, Cad Yellow, Phthalo Blue, and as always, titanium white. So I'm going to mix up now some raw umber and a little bit of black to that. And this is my number 4 flat brush I'm using. You can use any brush you want and just use the edge of whatever flat you're comfortable with. So I'm going to start off defining the body. Where the line is up here, I'm going to take the hairs up to that. So this is actually where his body is before the hair takes off. And I'll just pretty much go around with this and define where some things go and just start blocking in with this dark value. Okay, now I'm going to my number 10 flat brush here, as you can see, and just getting some more black involved. And I'm going to start making the indication of his body right here with these stripes. So just with the edge of the brush, I'm going to tap like this, and this is going to be the start of some of the fuzzy hairs that are on him. And I'll just keep this motion going as I build up layers on that using this method here. So again, just the edge of the flat brush, and actually just the corner of it. You can see I flipped over the brush there when I ran out of paint on the other side. So just going to basically do this method here and put in, you can put these in however. This is kind of the pattern I'm going with right now. And we can always adjust that and knock it back with other colors if we're not happy with that, and shape these any way we want. Okay, so just getting permanent black now, and it is a little darker than those stripes that I did, so I'll still be able to see those. And I just want to go in between and fill this in. This is going to be just some shadow and dimension that will be used for later. Okay, so with the edge of my number 10 flat again and permanent black, I'm going to go in and fill in this arm here, and also up here on his head and up on his nose that's up into the flower there. Okay, and just freehanding some stuff here. I'm just going to give some sort of definition and shape to his head here. There's going to be some dark value about right in here, like so. And I'll go back in there with some grays and some whites and make some highlights pop off of some folds and some of the crevices. But for now, just blocking in color. And also right here, I'm going to add in another arm as well. And also while I'm at it, this will be his other arm, and I'll block that in again with permanent black. Okay, with a clean brush now and the number 2 flat, I'm going to take this orange and a touch of raw umber, so it's this orangey brown color. And just like this, I'm going to take and make these hairs to start off with. Again, this is our first coat of acrylic paint, so it never is finished product. Usually you just use the first coat as a base coat that you then build details on for shadow and dimension and depth and all of that. So in the same way, I'm going to do that on everything. But I'm going to keep the hairs alive by using the edge of the brush as I hash it in like so. So I just put that color down on those stripes as before and just adjusted those with more of that orangey color. Okay, and so right here, more raw umber and a little less black. You can see it's more brown in this area here. And right up here, I put in more white into that. Okay, so now I have my script liner brush. Lots of water in a script liner brush is very important, and I've got a touch of black and that raw umber together. And as I pull it, I'm going to turn it and pull right through to a point. So just like that. And with that, I want to go ahead and turn the brush as I use just the very tip, and I'm going to start putting in these little wing patterns and these darker lines that are going to be showing through it. Okay, back to my number 2 flat brush. I'm going to take some Phthalo Blue, a touch of black to that, and some titanium white to bring that up. And I'm going to make the eye of the bee about right here. So that open spot you see, that's going to be a yellow tip on the ends of the flowers that are going to be coming off on its tentacles for later, so I left that open there. Okay, and now it's just some white and some raw umber. So it's a very light brown, and with my number 2 flat, I'm going to come in here, and it's a very light coat of paint on my brush. I mean, I have just barely any paint at all on my brush. As you can see, you can still see those lines that I put in, and it has this very transparent look to it. So And it's also very easy to control the paint. So a little bit more titanium white. I want to fade this up, and I want the bottom of this wing a little bit lighter, and to kind of show through to see some of that background and gives that transparency look to it. So now I'm going to take some orange and a little raw umber and some titanium white, and I'm going to get this lighter value now going. And again, just here and there, not covering up everything and letting other values play in. And I'll just continue to build this up and help to give this transparency look. So right here, a little bit more raw umber, and now a little bit more black. As you can see, it gets darker now up in this shadowed area there. And I'm going to go in here and make some of this darker stuff, and this is to really show some transparency onto the darker part of his body there with the dark and the stripes showing. So you can kind of put these wherever. This is just sort of some light refracting through and showing this really dull but yet transparency to these wings here. So now more titanium white with a clean brush, and I'm going to make these sparkle a little bit and give some direct highlights here and there. Okay, back to my script liner brush now. A little bit of this raw umber and orange together. Lots of water and pulling through to a point as I turn it. And let's go back in and reinforce some of these lines and add this value in with that. Okay, with my number 2 flat brush now, and just a very light gray color, so a teeny touch of black into some white. And I'm going to go ahead and freehand just some of these highlights and crevices on his head here where light is hitting and zinging off, but I don't want to go white right away because I want to build up this natural light transition. So just some gray, and I'll even put some of that right here and also some right there for some direct highlights we're going to put on this. Okay, so this is my 1/4 inch angle brush, and what's cool with this is I can make these fuzzy hairs and use the tip of the brush like so. And so with this, I'm going to take this orangey brown color, and just like so, I can make these very precise and make these little fuzzy hairs like I said. And this also adds another layer and puts in more value and builds this up a little bit more. Okay, with my number 2 flat brush and just titanium white, I'm not going to cover all that gray up, and I'm going to take and fade out some of this white a little bit, and it helps that light transition happen naturally and shows more of a bright, shiny highlight. So I'll do the same on this side as well. Okay, so going into more orange now and yellow now this time. and it's got a little bit of brown in there and a little white into that to bring it up. And just gonna make sort of this dull peachy color and scratch in some of this, and again use the edge of the brush to keep those hairs alive and do that hash motion technique. And then under his chin here as well, there's a little patch there. Okay, just going back into some Cad Orange here and a little bit more titanium white. Not cleaning my brush yet. And again using the edge of the number 2 flat and hashing in these hair-like fuzzies. And I just want to redefine and enhance and sort of brighten up some of these stripes on them. Okay, so let's make some of these fuzzy hairs pop out. So let's take that script liner brush again and that orangey brown color, as you can see, and a little bit more titanium white since this is a highlight. And again, a lot more water on the script liner, and it's like ink, as you can see, and pulling it straight through to a point. So what's cool with this script liner is you can just hash in these little hairs like this, and not only does this help with realism for the bee and showing his fuzzy texture on his body, but this technique will work on just about any animal that you want to put realistic fur to. So just gonna go here and there, and of course not cover all that black up, because again that black is serving to have shadow and dimension, and that really makes him pop with all those little hairs involved. Okay, with my script liner now again and permanent black this time, I just kind of want to hash and knock back just a little bit of these stripes and sort of help blend them in a little bit more. So again, if I don't like that, I can take the orangey color over and go back over some of that black. So play these back and forth until you like what you see is really what it is. And it's all good. There's no mistake. There's no accidents, not even a happy one. You can just push colors around anytime, anywhere. With these acrylics, they dry so fast, so that's what's really neat. So I just picked up more titanium white without cleaning. As you can see, I'm really popping out some of these highlights on some of the hairs. And now just going back into yellow and some orange and brown and a little bit white now. And again, pulling through to a point. And again, I want to go back in and redefine some of these stripes. Okay, and once again, just a little bit of highlight, titanium white, and vary here and there, and definitely not everywhere, or it's going to lose its effect on the highlights and how this pops out against that black. So again, that orangey brown color again, pulling through to a point. And right out here, I want to make these kind of come out, and using the edge of the script liner, you can really make these hairs really come out and make this look a little bit more realistic. Okay, and with my script liner again, the yellow and orange and some titanium white and lots of water again. You can see I'm dipping it in and pulling it to a point. And this time I want to use the liner up here, and I want to hash in some more of these precise detailed hairs up here. And this also adds another value and more layers on top and builds more dimension and depth that way. Okay, so now more titanium white. And I apologize for my hand being in the way, but just again here and there, you can see those highlights there. And that really brings out more dimension. And then with that same color, these are going to be some hairs off of his arm right here. So I kind of drew the indication with that little oval thing there to kind of show where I wanted to put that. And then also on the bottom as well, there's going to be some more hairs. So up here, I went into some titanium white, and this was to help cover up that thick wax line there. And then while I'm at it, I'm going to use that light value down here as well. Okay, with that orangey brown color in my script liner, I'm just making some very fine detailed little hairlines coming down his leg like so. And then with that same value, I'll put that in right here. Okay, and some permanent black with my script liner, and just right around here there's going to be this little shadow area where his wings coming out. And I'll just put some of this dark value here and there, and that will also bring out some of this depth and dimension within his body up in this area. Okay, with a clean flat number 2 brush here, I'm taking some titanium white and not covering up everything. I just want to enhance these highlights here and also up here as well. Okay, and with that same brush and some titanium white, I just want to hit just the edge of the arm there, show some highlight, and just maybe throw a couple down in the hairs on his body there as well, and also in some of these hairs here, and a little bit on the wing as well. So now I'm just taking some permanent black on my number 2 flat brush here, and I'm just knocking back some of that white and that gray, and I just kind of want to define and just sort of help make more sense of his head here. Okay, so just the tip of my script liner and just titanium white. I'm going to go in here and not cover up all that gray, but just kind of drag it here and there. This is really going to help pop and shine this head a little bit, and a little bit on his nose up there, or his beak. Okay, and then on his tentacle arm up here, just going to hit some of these highlights down his arm like so. Okay, with my number 2 flat brush now in that brown orangey color, just going to take a very light coat of paint on my brush and just very lightly glaze and put in this very light orange value. Okay, after enforcing some more dark in some of that wing, I'm going to take my clean number 10 flat brush now and just titanium white, and I'm going to go and start blocking in for these flowers now. Okay, so now I'm just going to pick up just a tiny bit of permanent black, so it's this very light gray color. And with this, I'm going to go and hit some of these random spots on these flowers, and this is going to bring out some folds and dimension and texture, and different shades of gray will show different shadow play. Okay, with my number 6 flat brush now, and just some phthalo blue and some yellow here, more yellow than blue as you can see, and I'm gonna make this basic green sort of color here, and I'm gonna take some raw umber just to dull it down a bit, not much. So with this basic green, I'm gonna start blocking in now for the stems and some other areas of this flower. Okay, no cleaning yet. I'm going to take a touch of black into that. That really dulls it down. I'm going to wipe most of that color off my brush and get more titanium white. So I have this very light lime color here. And with that, this is going to be the tentacle arms right here coming out of the flower and the general color that I'll block in those with. Okay, with a little bit more of that light lime color with a little bit more yellow in it, I'm going to go in here, and again, very little paint on the brush. I'm just barely going to glaze and scratch over some of this more vibrant green, and this is going to really show some nice, really soft transition happening and give this some more dimension and depth to this flower. Okay, and I'm just picking up some more titanium white, and as you can see, just giving it some more bright highlight, and this makes it even more of a softer transition. Okay, taking that yellowish lime color here, a little bit more yellow was put into that, and I want this one a little bit more vibrant with that. Okay, a little bit more yellow and white. And with my number 8 round brush here, I'm going to take the tip of it, and it's going to be very easy to fill in these little circled areas here. These are the, I guess, pollen balls you'll call them, on the ends of the tentacles, if that's what you want them to be. I don't know, I'm not a biologist, so, but these look cool, so I'm just going to fill these in with this general color. So I did put some white into that yellow because yellow is very transparent, and so putting white in will make it a little bit more opaque and less coats to put in. So now I'm just going to take some raw umber, a little black into that yellow, a little bit of white to bring it up. So this is a shadow color now, and I just want to go on the right side of these, and by keeping all of them on the right side, it really consistently shows our light source coming from the left, more or less. And it helps make more sense of what's going on and adds a little bit more dimension to these ends here. Okay, now I want to put a little bit of orange into that yellow there, and a little bit of white to bring that up again so it's not so transparent. I like it more opaque so it shows up a little bit more. And I want to go back over this now and not cover up that entire shadow color, but this kind of helps knock it back and blend it in more, making it more natural looking. Okay, going back to my script liner brush and the B and that orangey brown color, I'm going to just take and redefine some of this fuzzy area here. And it helps to give a little bit more definition with those hairs coming off with the script liner like so. Okay, lots of water, and with permanent black, I'm going to go back in now with that script liner with the tip and just again here and there, but not everywhere, and just add some of this shadow dimension in it. Okay, so just taking my brush now, and you can use any brush you're comfortable with, just something with a flat edge on it. And I'm just going to take some permanent, some titanium white, and I'm just going to go here and there and brighten some of this up. Alrighty, so with my script liner brush now, lots of water and permanent black, I'm going to sign this piece right here, and I want to thank you guys so much for all your support and joining me. Don't forget to subscribe for more video lessons I'll be putting out in the future, and give this one a shot. This is a really simple piece and good practice with the script liner, and again, these techniques I'm using in this video are good for making any kind of fur or fuzzy texture for any kind of animals that you're doing. So if you'd like to post any results in the future with any of the tutorials that you follow with me, post them on my like page at the Acrylic Asylum. There's a link in the description box. I'd love to see your results, and I'd love to hear your feedback, so drop some questions and comments, and I'm always looking to get better at teaching and how much better I can make my videos so that you guys can follow them easier and learn as much as you can, and I appreciate that so much. And so until next time, happy painting, guys.